All right, everyone, welcome in to next iteration of. All right, everyone, welcome in to our next iteration of. Our veterans workshops. Basically, as we always do this, what we do is basically any veterans that come in, you have any questions when it's concerned to disability entitlements, exemptions. For some reason, it looks like my TikTok one is running kind of choppy. So we might have to reset that one a bit and just change some things up. So I'll go off on that one and redo some of the settings, but I think it should be working. I just don't know why it's not working. But like I said, this is basically to assist veterans. We do this every Sunday. It's just to basically show veterans what they need to do, what they need to learn, any questions they have, better preparation for them as military service members, whether it be any kind of branch, anything that you have any questions to, is just basically make sure to go ahead and ask. A lot of information is not readily available to veterans, so it's something that I just want to make sure that while I'm doing this, I can provide you guys information basically to allow you to be able to succeed and be able to be better prepared going forward. There's a lot of information that a lot of people don't obtain when they're exiting the military. A lot of information isn't readily provided for it. So that's something that it's just, we do these every Sunday. Most of the time I have a specific topic that I'm going over, and I'll usually go over those topics depending on what they are, whether it's state tax exemptions, the benefits, like the Veteran Readiness and Employment Program, basically assisting you with work, talking about the GI Bill, explaining how that works, how you get the housing allowance, how you get you can get dependents education, talking about certain states' benefits and stuff like that, just to basically incorporate everybody and allow everybody to have that information. Not everybody's able to obtain it. And that's the one thing. So hold on, let me just fix this one real quick. But it's basically, if you got any questions, Logan, I see you stepped in. You're new here. Appreciate you tuning in. It's just basically any information that you're looking for, anything that you have a question about. It's basically that's what we're here for. Just to provide you your best ability to be able to be better prepared for life as a veteran, or even if you're still on active duty and you're planning to get out. That way you have a sense of what you need to be doing and how you can prepare for the future of that. And that's the biggest thing, that a lot of people don't understand that and don't get that. But it's basically to assist people with that. And that's the biggest thing. And now it's just, I'm trying to do this on multiple platforms at the same time to give people the availability to be able to interact and learn stuff on each side. So there's no, I'm currently on TikTok, and then I am currently on YouTube. We're still trying to work the way of getting both of them to work properly, I guess, because I know the YouTube stream is going well. That one you can see visibly, shouldn't have any issues when it comes to it. But then there's also I am also on mobile so that people could check it out that way, and also the same thing on via TikTok. This one, TikTok, I know is acting up a bit, so I apologize for that. I might have to change the camera for this one just to put it on the side view, see how that works. Or maybe I just might have to do it off my phone, but then I can't actually read all the chats at the same time, so it makes it a bit more difficult to incorporate everything at the same time doing it that way. But let's see if we can just do it this way and just change the camera. Might not be able to see everything, but let's see if it allows it to do it. It doesn't seem to want to let me do it. Okay. But yeah. Like I said, this is what we do every Sunday. This is what we do. we try to assist veterans in any way possible with questions and stuff like that. So if there's no questions and people ain't really asking much stuff, what we end up doing is I just go to my I end up changing over to the spreadsheet I have. So I have a spreadsheet that you could just check it out there. And that's basically the best way of doing it. So you can interact with me there. You can ask questions from there, and then just do that. Try to turn off enhanced to improve live performance. I don't know what I have enhanced. I don't really have anything enhanced, but yeah, it's just ask away. If you got any questions, ask away. I'll be working on stuff. I have my spreadsheet I'll be working on. If y'all are on TikTok, basically that's where you'll find me. So you'll get a better visual on YouTube because basically I have my spreadsheet and the share screen on there. So if you want to do that, that's what we end up doing, and it's easier for me to show people and highlight stuff. Or when it comes to answering questions, I can give you the answer and actually show you where these answers are. Where a lot of people is just like asking questions and not sure exactly of where they're going. I think I'm gonna just end the TikTok one. I might do this one off my phone. I'll do the TikTok one off my phone because this one it's not running well. So TikTok, I'll be back. Give me a sec. It's not running smoothly, but it like jumps back and forth, and I hate when it does that. So we'll end it on there. We'll do this off the phone. That way it takes up less resources. So I see I gotta figure another way of doing it so that it doesn't take up all the resources on there when I'm on YouTube and on thing. But we can set this up on my phone at the same time. We're just trying new things, y'all, just to try to reach more veterans as best we can, because there's veterans all over the place. And not all of them get access to the same information. I have people that I worked with that I still assist when it comes to their disability claims. I have people that I interact with just on YouTube that some people have been assisted with having certain ideas or getting certain information. And I understand that not a lot of veterans end up having that they will, take advantage of the information that they can get. And then sometimes I don't see them again, which is unfortunate. But at the same time, at least I know if I ended up with helping somebody and they were able to achieve something and get some information, I think it's valuable to allow that to happen. Give me 1 second while I set this up on here. Okay, so I set it up there. So now we're on TikTok and on YouTube. So that way it's a lot easier for people to visualize and ask questions. But like I said, we go over stuff. This is my spreadsheet that I'm working, that I'm going to be releasing to people for everyone to be able to have access to and be able to visualize it and use it. Because a lot of people have questions and are looking for certain places to find the answers, and it's not always readily available. So there is a forum. If you guys use Reddit, there's a Veteran Benefits Reddit page, and they have a lot of the information. A lot of the information I do try to obtain from them, because they you can get a lot of information off of their page. They do show that they update it, and they keep on updating the information. So that's something that you got to keep in mind, that it keeps on being updated. The thing is some information is not from a readily available source. So some sources are from like the VA itself. Some are from other entities that have provided the information, and not all of the information is up to date. So that's something that people need to realize also, that it's not always set that way. So you have to find the information where you can. But I'm just making this spreadsheet, which allows you to have all this information in there. And it gives you, like, I've done property tax exemptions. I haven't completed all the states, but it's a work in progress. The same thing with the VSO contact list, so that way you can contact a service officer, or at least know where your service officers are within the system, because that's the thing that a lot of people don't know. It's just like some people don't know where to reach out to when it comes to veteran assistance or veteran questions. A lot of the times it's word of mouth, and I try to shy away from doing the whole word of mouth thing because of the fact that a lot of people will find information and the information isn't there for everybody, or somebody heard information from someone. Pliskin, does it help save my people, or am I doing it just to do it? Because if I ain't saving nobody, ain't no point. But if I'm saving everybody else and it's just on me, yeah, I'll do that. The question was, if overrun, would you call in artillery on yourself to defeat the enemy? And I was just like, yes, if we were overrun and it's just going to save people. Hey, happy Father's Day to you too, man. Appreciate that. And that's another thing. Yeah, happy Father's Day to all the military vets out there. Well, any father in general. Happy Father's Day, but to our military vets, I know it's hey, appreciate the roses. I know it's a tough day because I've seen it for some people already. I've seen it that some people don't get to celebrate their Father's Day. Some people are on staff duty. I just seen an Army what the fuck that it was just like, man, I've spent all these holidays on staff duty. Like most of the major holidays I've spent on staff duty. And then the response was like, oh, you should basically you should probably take leave. And I'm like, that's the stupidest thing you could probably tell somebody. It's just like, oh, you should probably take leave to do that. I was just like, no, you don't tell somebody to take leave just so that they can get a holiday that they should be getting off. I understand the whole staff duty. I understand the CQ roster and stuff like that, but that has to be done in a certain way. It's called the DA6. If people don't know what the DA6 is, need to educate people on it, so that way people understand that when you're on duty. Hey, the average ginger. Hey, good to see you, my man. How you doing? And that's the one thing people need to understand, that it's just like the DA6 is done correctly. If you are a person that ends up on staff duty multiple times per month and there's a bunch of people that you've never seen on the thing, that's something that you can file a complaint for. And you can file an EO complaint, just basically saying like, hey, I would like the company's DA6 to be checked in or checked in order to visualize, hey, why is it that I have this many people or this many time? I bet you won't. Plot Armor, appreciate you, man. This man always come in, though. Appreciate you, my man. But it's just something that people need to realize is there's rules and there's regulations when it comes to being in the military. I can speak on the Army side because I did it for 10 years. I understand, and I knew a lot of the regulations and stuff like that. That's why I wasn't a pushover, and that's why I was disliked a lot of the times, because I knew the regulation. If somebody told me something, what I went ahead and did is like, hey, let me go and make sure to check what this regulation is or what it actually says. Because a lot of people will just be like, hey, oh, well, this says you got to do this and you got to do that. And it's not always like that. It was just like, oh, the regulation says this. I was like, can you tell me what the regulation is? And a lot of them will get pissed off. But it's just like, why are you asking me what the regulation is? I just told you. I was just like, because I want to check and verify myself so I can see and know where it's at. And sometimes they'll be like, okay, cool. And then sometimes they just catch an attitude. And I was just like, well, if I'm asking you for guidance and you can't provide it, then why the fuck should I listen to you in the first place? Because the thing is you're going off of your interpretation of it when there can be an actual specification of what you can do and what you can't do. And people need to realize that when it comes to, and that's the same thing that it comes to when it comes to veterans getting out of the military and getting their disabilities. All the information is not always there. Somebody's going to tell you this, somebody's going to tell you that. That's why when I do these lives, it's like, hey, if I'm telling you something, I'm going to research it and I'm going to look at it plain in sight, and I'm going to show you on my screen exactly what it is I'm looking at and where I found the information for you. So it's not a word of mouth thing. It's not a extra thing. It was just like, hey, if you need help with any disability questions or what the ratings might be or regulations or forms, it's just like, hey, I'm here. I have my computer. I can stream to you guys and I can show you what it is that's going on, so that way you have a better understanding of what's happening and you have a visualization. If you need assistance or shit, if you just need to talk, I'm here for that also. And that's what people need to understand. It's just like, us as veterans need to help each other out more and look out for each other, which is something that doesn't happen enough of with veterans, because a lot of veterans are either clowning or downgrading or putting other veterans down when it's just for like whatever reason. It was like, oh, I just seen somebody posted not too long ago that they was just like, oh, I don't know how the hell you got 100%. It looks like you were probably faking or you were like exaggerating your claims, because it's like, oh, you seem a lot better than I do. And the thing is that's the problem with a lot of us vets is that they want to compare their issues with somebody else's. Everybody has their own issues, and that's something that people need to understand. Everybody has their own issues. Now, what you do with them and how you take care of them, it's a different issue also, because not everybody deals with stuff the same way. And not everybody goes about doing it when it comes to disability claims the same way. Some people do it the right way. Some people don't. Some people get stuff documented. Some people don't. And a lot of people don't understand that is in order to get your disability claims processed and actually approved, you have to have documentation for that. It's not a, hey, shit just magically popped up, I had this injury and stuff like that. No, you have to make sure that you are processing the stuff. Is there a way to get disability from the state? I've been working and I'm 100% in which I am allowed to, but my TV is getting bad. I'm not able to work much longer, which is horrible. The average ginger, if you look into it, also you can start claiming Social Security. And that's a lot of things a lot of veterans don't have. Once you're 100% P&T, you can try to apply for Social Security stuff. So if it makes it even harder for you to be able to continue work, you can do that. Yes, and see, that's one thing. A lot of people don't understand that they don't understand. Say favorite theme song, Spider-Man. You can apply for that one. Most of the time, you might have to go to. You might need to get a VSO lawyer or have somebody like shows you, because there's like Social Security like lawyers that specify on a Social Security income. So you'll get another check basically. That one I believe does get taxed though. It's not a completely free benefit, like a tax-free benefit, but you can apply for that. So basically they go off of, I believe it's the last 10 years of work that you've had, and then they calculate it from there. But this is what I have to tell people. A lot of people will try to apply for the Social Security stuff, and a lot of the times they get denied first time through. Since you're 100% permanent in total, you get fast tracked, or they look at your stuff faster because you're already 100% permanent total. So basically they see it as, okay, you already have a like stated thing saying that you are permanent and disabled. So, but the thing is the same qualifications don't work. With you having TBI and a PTSD, that one most likely will fast track you through it, but there's no guarantee on it. But from what I hear from a lot of veterans is that when they go and apply for it, they keep on pushing it, because basically it's just like, it's the same thing as the VA. They don't want to pay people. They don't want to just give people Social Security benefits. But if you apply for it and you have criteria for it with that allows you to do it, because they don't go off of the same thing. And that's what a lot of veterans get pissed off at with the Social Security, because they think it's just like, oh, you're receiving the same. I was just like, oh, well, I'm 100% permanent and total here. Why can't I just get it for Social Security? It doesn't work that way, because they don't use the same regulations. Like with the military and the VA, they use the Code of Federal Regulations, Title 38, Chapter 4 for like Part 1 the schedule of ratings. That's how you get your percentage through the VA. The Social Security does it in a completely different way. So it's basically you get those benefits. Yo, what's up, man? You get those benefits, and that's how you get those benefits. You get them through them, but it's different. They use different criteria. So basically, if you can't work and you have issues working, that's where you get the SSD checks. But it's a whole nother process also of applying to it. So if you're dealing with stuff like that, which is getting worse, it's just like benefits from the state doesn't really offer you many things when it comes to like unemployability. Like you can probably apply maybe for unemployment checks, but then that runs out after a certain amount of time. So that doesn't actually benefit you, because then you're going to have to go through the programs, try to show that you have, oh, happy Father's Day to you too, bro. Same thing to you, Average Ginger. I'm streaming on both TikTok and on YouTube right now. So if you want, I'm on 2 platforms, but viewing in 3 different ways. So you can watch me on YouTube, on vertical, and on regular PC, and then you can watch me on TikTok also. So, but that's something that people don't know. It's just like you can apply for Social Security income, but you have to go through the process, and they have to basically understand and say, okay, yes, this person is disabled, and they do that. And I believe they either go off of the past 5 years of work or the past 10 years of work, and you get that, and they get the average amount, and that's what you end up getting paid for SSD on top of your disability benefits. So you can collect both at the same time. But that one, I think it does get to the point where you do get a restriction on how much you can earn after the fact. So like if you're 100% permanent in total, you can get whatever pay you want. That one doesn't go anywhere. You continue to get that pay if you get 100% disability, stuff like that. Once you go to SSD, I believe there is a cap on that one. I'm not too entirely sure exactly what those numbers are and figures are. That's something I got to look into more. But that's definitely something that people need to realize, that that's a benefit that you can have, that you can apply for. A lot of people do that when they retire. It was just like they receive their retirement pension, they receive their disability, and then they apply for SSD also. So that's basically 3 different checks that a lot of veterans sometimes are able to obtain, and they're getting that. Some of them tax-free, depending on what state you are, because like I said, for tax exemptions, some retirement pay is fully exempt, some is just like a portion and stuff like that. So like the state of Alabama, for instance, that is fully income, like your retirement income is fully exempt from taxes. But then you have certain property taxes, like, hey, you don't have to pay property tax. So you got to think about it. If you do your 20 years, because not everybody, it's only like 17% of the military that joins actually does the whole time. I can't return for a few other things, but it's hitting my job quality. I'm worried on what to do. Yeah, so hey, thank you, man. Happy Father's Day to you too. But that's something that people need to understand. It's just like, if you apply, let me see if I can find, let me see something. Because that's the thing. It's just like when you search for it, you can find a whole bunch of stuff. VA disability compensation, that's VA disabilities, and they have a video on YouTube also. Social Security insurance. Are you receiving qualify for this? Wondering how. Okay, so I got this, and I'm gonna the thing is I can't really put it on TikTok. So like I said, if y'all doing it, y'all can go over. See me diagnosed with TMC and major depressive disorders. Can this affect me because I have different diagnoses in service? What do you mean, can it affect you? Because the thing is if you're 100% permanent in total, you're 100% permanent in total. So that's not going to change unless you get evaluated and they evaluate you and you get a lot better. If you become a lot better, then that's different. So let me copy this and I will post this link in here. So that's a video from the U.S. Department of Veteran Affairs. That video basically talks on the VA disability and Social Security disability insurance. So it has all that information in there if you need it. So that's a video, and they always have like stuff like that. So if you don't follow them on YouTube, that's a great resource to go. U.S. Department of Veteran Affairs, they always have questions like that. So you don't have Ivan the Great. I had an okay. Hey, what's up, Ivan the Great? Yeah, so if it can affect, because the thing is they're diagnosing you with that, so it's there. So if you got diagnosed with it, that's basically the VA saying like, yes, you already have that. If you're 100% P&T, the one thing that can happen is that basically you can file that claim with them, and then basically you can go and get seen by a therapist, a counselor, a psychiatrist, like whatever the case, and it'll be covered by the VA. That's how I go, and I go see my therapist like every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks. the VA covers it because I'm diagnosed with PTSD. So since I'm diagnosed with it and they diagnosed it, when I went to do it, I had major depressive disorder. And then as I seen the therapist, they were just like, no, you have PTSD. And it was just like it manifests from the depression and the anxiety you deal with, but this is PTSD. You have all the things and the criteria. So then from there, that guy knows, and then that's how I filed for a higher rating. Ivan the Great, you said you had your initial CMP exam and you don't have a rating, meaning that you got, like, you weren't service connected, you were denied, or you got like a 0. What does that mean with I don't have a rating? Because that can mean a lot of stuff. I don't have a rating means you got denied, you got 0, or they found the service connected and left it at that. Like, that's, can you specify what you mean by you don't have a rating? But yeah, if you have a rating or don't have a rating, I filed my initial claim, waiting to hear back from them. So when did you file, Ivan the Great? Because the thing is when you file a disability claim, that can take, it could take up to 6 months for you to get any information back. So that's the thing. It's just like you can't just wait on it. Just like once you file, it can take up to 6 months on there, depending on the backlog of the VA. And we already know and hear about the backlog of the VA. It could take about 6 months for you to get an actual number back or rating. So if you filed May 15th, yeah, you just filed a month ago, you got maybe a couple months. I would say give it maximum, I would say 6 months before you contact the VA. Because a lot of the times that's usually the amount of time that it takes, is usually like 6 months for them to look at it, because they're still going through it and all that stuff. But as long as you have your documentation in there and all that stuff in there, you should be good. But it takes, it's a process. It's not a you're not gonna get a rating right away. So you gotta keep that in mind. It could take 6 months, and then hopefully everything goes well and what you applied for gets approved, and then you don't have no issues. But if that doesn't happen, then you might run into the case where you might have to appeal, and then that shit takes even longer. So that's what you got to keep in mind. But if you have any ratings, and that's one thing that I tell people. A lot of people are hesitant to file claims after they're 100% PNT. You can get assistance for it without having to file for it. You can go and tell your VA doctors and stuff like that, like, hey, I'm dealing with this, dealing with that, and you can get seen for it. You don't have to file a claim for it. But the thing is at least you are having that documented in your file, showing like, hey, we went through this. Hold on, y'all. Give me a sec. Hello, Cheeky. Thank you, Cheeky. Thank you. ¿Cómo estás, Ángela? Gracias. Bien, aquí, tranquilo. Todo bien. Y allá estamos el viernes. Thank you. Haciendo Londres ahora, pero después de ahí estamos preparados. Ok, gracias. Ok. Bye. All right. I got called from the family. So my bad if y'all didn't understand that I was talking in Spanish a bit. I am Spanish. But if I was to leave the country, would I still get the 100%? I'm PNT, but don't know if the VA would stop paying if I left and never came back. Average Ginger, you are going to get paid for the rest of your life. You are going to get paid for the rest of your life. You're going to get paid for the rest of your life. You're 100% PNT. You're going to get paid no matter what your disability rating is. This is a for life benefit that you get. So every month you will get a check. If you decide, hey, I want to move to a country that has a super low cost of living, you can do that. Now, the only thing that happens is like, let's say you want to get seen by a doctor, stuff like that, or you have any issues that you get seen for, you have to, it's a process, because now you have to figure out where you can go in that location to be seen, that the VA understands it and will file the billing and cover it. No, average. Keep asking all the questions. I like doing this because this is why I do this, because I can inform people. So with the passing of the benefits, it's the DIC, which I went over with another person asking. It's a dependent indemnity like compensation. So basically what happens with that one is basically it falls under, let me hold on, I'm trying to look it up so I can put it on the thing. Put it on my computer. Do this, let's change this to, all right, see, this is why I like doing it on YouTube, because I can actually show you exactly where the shit is and you can look at it and get a visual. So that way it's just like, hey, this isn't just me talking out my ass kind of stuff, even though I've learned a lot of this information, but this is what it is. If you're the surviving spouse, child, or parent of a service member who died in the line of duty, or the survivor of a veteran who died from a service-related injury or illness, you may be able to get a tax-free monetary benefit called VA dependency and indemnity compensation. The one thing you got to remember is that the benefit is not what you receive now at 100% P&T. So your spouse and your kids will not receive the what? Because if you're 100% with a wife, you're getting like $4,000. She's not gonna be receiving that $4,000. It'll drop. I believe it's like $1,600 or something like that, or $1,700. No, I do not want to take a survey for visiting y'all. Y'all got too much information all over the place that I got to search for it to find instead of having stuff like laid out. But yeah, how do you apply for it? But that's basically, this is if you pass. So basically, it has to be service connected criteria, and that's what makes it difficult. Yeah, they don't get and that's what people they do not get the full amount, because they see it as the veteran is the one that will get the disability. This is something that they are receiving because of the fact that you passed from a disability claim. Because the thing is if the person passes and it's not service-related injury or a service-related issue, the VA sees it as, well, you didn't die because of the military or because of the VA or your time in service, so we don't have to pay you out. See what I'm saying? That's where it's kind of effed up, but they don't get the full amount. Oh, see, look, if you qualify, you can get tax-free money for the amount you receive depends on the survivor you are. So here's the benefit rates. It's not even much. So your monthly payment is, see, I was close. I was off, but not that much. No, see that, and that's why I like having these workshops, because the thing is there's a lot of information where people just, it's like word of mouth or what they hear, what they think they hear, and stuff like that. It's like, no, nobody, your spouse or surviving kids or dependents, they do not receive 100% disability. The checks don't just keep going for you, because the thing is they were not the service member. So that's how the VA sees it. It's just like, because that's the thing. It was just like, look, if these people are telling it to you, that's because somebody else told them to, and they're like, oh yeah, you'll get the 100%. I was just like, no, a lot of people don't look into the stuff. They just go off of, and that's the problem that we have with a lot of veterans when it comes to filing and stuff like that. It's just like, oh, so and so told me this, but nobody goes and actually does the research for it. Nobody goes like how I'm doing now and takes you to the location on the va.gov site and shows you like, hey, this is what it is. Rates for the surviving spouses and dependent children of veterans. These VA survivor benefits are tax exempt. This means you won't have to pay any taxes on your compensation. These rates are effective as of December 1st, 2023, and it goes up. Effective December 1st, 2023, your monthly payment is $1,612. But here's the thing: added amounts for surviving spouses. So if this description is true, you may qualify for this benefit. It's like it says 8-year provision, added monthly amount. The veteran had a VA disability rating of totally disabling, including for individual unemployability, for at least the 8 full years leading up to their death. So meaning if you have an... I did get King of Pain, but it ain't gonna happen. I'm live streaming. I can't do that. I can't do that right now. But basically, if you have been permanent and totally disabled for 8 years prior to that, and then you died off of a, like it says, a totally disabling, off of VA disability rating, something that you're getting compensated for, they add an extra $300. So that pushes it basically up to, let's say, $2,000. You have a disability and need help with regular daily activities. So this is basically like if you do aided attendance where you have somebody assisting you and helping you throughout the process, you get the extra $400. You can't leave your house due to a disability, housebound allowance. I don't know how the hell it's only fucking $187 when you can't go nowhere. So you need even more assistance if you can't leave the house. But you have one or more children who are under 18. Transitional benefit, $332 for the first 2 years after the veteran's death. The SCI appropriation rate for each eligible child. So this is basically, and it gives you a breakdown how to get it. So if your total payment for the first 2 years, you get the monthly rate, your first child gets extra $400, second child gets $400. The 8-year provision is $342. Aid in attendance would be $400, and then transitional benefit for the first 2 years is $342. So in that case, you would be making $3,100, but that's if you fit all of this criteria. So the transitional benefit is like that. So basically people might say is like, oh, you're getting the whole 100%. This isn't even 100%, but this is if you fall under this. So it's just basically for each child, you get that. You'll get an extra $400 for each child monthly. So if your wife is there, she's there, she's getting a $1,600. You got 2 kids, you get an extra $800. So that'll be $2,400 a month. Which they are talking about increasing this amount. I can't remember what they said, but I did read something about it saying that they were planning to increase that amount. But like I said, that changes. Look, and this one is if the veteran died before 1993. The SCI is you're the surviving child of a veteran. If you're a surviving child, surviving unmarried adult of a child of a veteran when the veteran's surviving spouse is also eligible. So basically, once the child goes from 18 to 23, they can receive $338 a month. Helpless child over 18, adult child who became permanently unable to support themselves gets $700 basically. So surviving eligible child of a veteran when the veteran doesn't have a surviving spouse who's eligible. So basically, this is the benefit for the child or for the children. Number of veterans eligible children. If you got 9 kids, you get $2,700. But that's a... But then the thing is an added thing that comes from this is that also certain states give you property tax exemptions. So you may have the veteran had the property tax exemptions and they file for it every year, whatever the case may be. When they pass, for some, you don't need to have it as a disability. It doesn't have to be something that the veteran is being compensated for through disability. It could just be like, hey, the service member passed, the veteran passed, the survivors can continue to get the tax exemption. So basically, the wife will continue to get the spouse. I will say spouse, because it could be male or female. So if the spouse continues to live in that home and doesn't get remarried, they can keep on using that property tax exemption on that house. Some allow you to switch to a different house, some do not. But then that's where it goes more specific into the veterans. The veterans issue. Yeah, see, and I have that. I have that in the spreadsheet. Where is it? Property tax, California. So here it goes. Disabled veterans exemptions. The basic exemption, also referred to as the 100,000 exemption, is available to all qualifying claimants. The exemption amount is compounded annually by inflation. For example, the 2018, the basic exemption amount was 134. So you said it was 148,000. That's what it's gone up to. Then you got the low income exemption. So it depends. But like I said, those they have that. And that's stuff that they have that they can provide for you. And that's California. Texas, look, Texas and Florida are some of the most beneficial states when it comes to veterans, because they have a bunch of benefits that go on top of it. So that's something that people need to keep in mind. It's like you can do that and you can look into it. And each state is built different. Like I like to say, each one of them is built different. Some give you some exemptions, some give you a lot of exemptions. Some don't give you a damn thing. Like some is just like not that veteran friendly, but it's just like something that you have to realize that as a veteran, you can obtain that information. So that's something you need to keep in mind, that it is possible to do that. But like I said, if you decide that you want to, let me see, because it's overseas. See what overseas says. File a claim while overseas for a veteran. Well, here we go. Veteran living overseas. Well, this is for the Philippines. As a veteran who lives in the Philippines, you are generally entitled to the same VA benefits as those living in the United States. You can visit the VA Manila Regional Benefit Office and outpatient clinic. So depending on where you're at, certain countries do have, they do have the overseas thing. For a veteran who lives overseas, you remain entitled to the benefits and services you earned through your military service. I got approved vocational rehab for schooling. I was approved for 3 years, but I can't go into the school I have to do online. Will the pay be the same, or will I get less like I did for the GI Bill? So with the vocational school, depending on the school, because the thing is what they want you to do is that they want you to be in person. So if you're not in person when you're doing it, they rate it as less, I believe. But what you can try to do is at least try to find, if you're doing schooling, it depends on the school. It depends on the school, because the thing is they want you to at least have one class that is physical. So if you can find a class that is like a hybrid, that's like online and in person, then from there you can do the other two online and then do it that way. But shit, because I just got my benefits for, let me see. I just got it for this month. I'm doing it for 3 hours and it's distance, but I am not making the full amount. But the thing is it depends on how you go about it. Hey man, I'm just trying to help. Hopefully I do grow some more and just I'm able to help more veterans. I know there's a bunch of other people that do it. I just don't post enough videos, and that's why I think that's like slowing me down. I need to start making some of these videos and these tutorials just for people to get out and see that what I do. A lot of the stuff is that I do these lives, and a lot of people don't just tune into the lives, and that's the thing. But as you can see, this is information that I provide. If somebody comes in and has a question, I find you an answer. That way, it's just like you have the answer. You have where to look. You have where to find. And look, I'm gonna post this in here so that you can have the. This is for the overseas, since you had the question, and because that's what I like to do. It's just like I want to be able to give you the information straight from where you need to find it. Because the thing is I have some knowledge, but the thing is I don't know everything. So some information is new to me, some is not. But it's just like, hey, look, if you're living overseas, it shows it. Yeah, so depending on where you live, because the thing is you can still have the same bank. You can still have everything processing and being sent to your same bank. You just might get like an overseas charge or something if your bank does that. Some banks don't do that, some do. I know with USAA you can take out a certain amount of cash, and if they have like fees for the ATM, I think it's like $15 gets returned back or something like that. But that's every month, that the most you can do. But like I said, if you have a card or something that it doesn't worry about like overseas fees and stuff like that, and you just get to charge it, you can live like there's plenty of veterans that do that. There's plenty of veterans that go and they find a place that has a lower cost of living. And it's just like, look, if you're at 100% PNT and let's say you have a house here in the States, you can leave that house, rent that house out. If you're renting that house out, that's until it gets paid off, basically. Once it's paid off, that's income. You're just generating passive income. You're going to receive your benefit and continue to get your monthly disability benefit. Now, if you're living in a place where the cost of living is basically nothing, you get to live better because you're living in a place that it doesn't cost as much to live, but you're still getting paid the same amount regardless. Because the VA doesn't really care as to where you're living. It's just like, hey, what's your disability rating? What are we going to rate you? And then they go from there. They don't really pay any mind to it or try to look into where you're going to be living. But this is where I was going to tell you, like the getting healthcare overseas. Let me see if I can make this a bit bigger so you can visualize it. Getting healthcare overseas. As a veteran living or traveling abroad, you can receive medical care for VA service-connected disabilities through our VA Foreign Medical Program. Under this program, we assume payment responsibility for the necessary treatment of service-connected disabilities. You can visit our Foreign Medical Program page for more information. There are regional toll-free numbers on this page that you can call for or additional assistance. The only thing that King Tracy, appreciate you liking the live. The one thing that people understand is like sometimes you might do that you get to see your provider, your medical provider, your VA provider once a year. For that, you have to come back for. That's the one thing people don't understand. You will have to come back for that. So that basically you still have that continuance with your VA provider, whether it's, hey, I've been dealing with this more, or hey, maybe I got to change medication, or I need to up medication, lower medication, whatever the case may be. That's something that you want to make sure that you're doing. So if it means once a year you got to come back into the States to go and see your provider, that's what you do. But you can live overseas the rest of the time. Yeah, so you can live overseas and you can get care there. But like I said, look, Foreign Medical Program. Eligibility for coverage, VA rated, service connected, conditions that are associated with service connected disability. Let's see, how to register for the Foreign Medical. You don't need to be enrolled in VA healthcare to register for Foreign Medical Program. What to expect after you register, and it has like this page has basically the breakdown of it. And then it basically shows you what you need to do and what you need to apply for and the benefits you get. But basically, you can live overseas if you choose to. Like, shit, I've thought about it. But I think I want to pay down more on this house before I do that. And then literally, you can live overseas. You can live in a place that the cost of living, like I said, if the exchange rate is ridiculous for like $1 and you can live well, you can go and live somewhere else for not your 100% disability and still live well and still be okay, still be able to travel, do what you have to do and stuff like that. What do I do in the meantime for help while waiting on a claim? Ivan the Great, if you have any issues that you need to get taken care of. You need to contact the VA and set up like appointments. I was hoping to get employment assistance. So that's something that you have to apply for. The VRE program, the Vocational Rehabilitation and Employment Program, you have to apply for that. Hold on. Search for that. VRE. I put ZVRE. Vocational Rehabilitation and Employment. This is old as shit. What the fuck page is this? And that's the thing. Sometimes it's, the VA has stuff like when you search for it and it's like old as dirt. Like where the information is. Like when is this highlight? See, this one last updated April 2022. But if you have any questions and stuff like that about the vocational rehabilitation, you can go to this site here, click on that link, and then from there that'll take you and you can find like eligibility and entitlement. And am I eligible? It just says you didn't receive a dishonorable discharge. You have a service-connected disability rating of at least 10%. I was going for Father's Day. I want to let you know that I wish you the best, brother, and safe. Hey, Average Ginger, appreciate you. You have a great Father's Day. I'll be here. I don't know for how long I'm gonna be on. I'll be on for a certain amount of time. But yeah, I'll be here if anything. If you get back and I'm still on, like I said, if you got any questions, always come and ask. If you got any other veterans you have to help me grow and help spread the word, send them my way. Let them know like, hey man, this guy provides information. He gives you correct information. I don't go by word of mouth. Like I said, everything I show you, it's on this page. It's on the VA site, or it's on a site that's credible, and it's a source that you can actually go to yourself. So appreciate that. You enjoy the rest of your day in case I don't see you. And if not, maybe I'll see you next week. I will be traveling though, so that one will be different. That one I might just do it on my phone. I'll see. I gotta work something out to see how I do the next couple of weeks because I'll be traveling. But yeah, that's what it is. It's just like, this is just information that's there. As people ask, we go and we help them, we assist them, we give them the information we need. I don't know what to do. What's going on, my man? It's just like I'm on YouTube and on TikTok right now, so that's why I was like, and that's what I noticed. That's why the Average Ginger, I try to do it this way, because the thing is I want to be able to provide people legit information where they can see where I'm getting it from, as compared to, that's why I don't like doing the whole videos, because sometimes I make the videos and the thing is it leaves people with questions still. And a lot of people, instead of commenting right then and there on the question, or like, hey, you're watching the video, you get a question, instead of commenting and asking it, you forget about that question and you see something else that's another question, and then it's just like, some people forget to just comment the question, where it's just like, hey, if I had this, can I do that? That's why I like doing the lives, because if people tune in, you ask me the question, I can legit show you right there on the spot, as compared to a video that might have been published a couple of weeks ago, months ago, and that changes everything. But that's a he said, hold up, let's switch to YouTube. Yeah, man, I'm on YouTube and on TikTok right now. I'm just doing it like this so people can still hear me on TikTok. But if people want to go to YouTube, they could go and watch it, and then I can actually show the video. Because I tried doing TikTok on this computer and it was not working very well. So what I think I have to do is I have to set up the stuff I have on this computer onto the other computer, so that the other computer is the one that is running everything, and then I could just run TikTok off of this one, so that it doesn't, because it was making my computer jittery, or at least TikTok Live was super jittery and it wasn't populating as well. So there we go. See, so now you on here. But yeah, I have it because I have it on both. So I have it on mobile, and then I also have it on full screen. So depending on how you want to go about it, that it is what it is. But I have it so that people can visualize it on basically all three ways. You can watch me on TikTok, you can watch me on YouTube, you can watch me on YouTube mobile. The mobile one usually picks up people. Yes, that's the only thing. And just like with YouTube, there's always like a delay on it, which I don't know how to. I don't think there's a method to do it, but the thing is like the way I'm streaming it, the quality of it, I don't think I could do. But let me see if I could. I don't think I can change it from here. Let's see if I can actually change it. I don't think I can though. I'll show you while I'm doing it too. It shows both. Once I think it's started, I can't. It doesn't change it. That's the only thing. Yep. Once I've started the stream, it doesn't let me change it. But that's something that I need to try to do. Is just like it's the ultra low latency, so basically it'll stay closer to what I'm doing. Just that the quality, I have the settings at a higher quality, and I just have to drop them a bit lower so that it doesn't, like, I guess, conflict, because YouTube doesn't. The higher the quality, it doesn't do the it doesn't showcase you the thing as it should. That's the only thing, I guess. If you do higher quality streams, they have a buffer so that it's just like, we want to make sure that we can provide you the great looking quality, but then it's just like a little slower because YouTube has to process the thing, even though shouldn't be an issue, but it is at times. So, but yeah, this is what we do on. You really got that on YouTube too, Just Cruise number one fan. Oh shit! But yeah, this is what we do on Sundays. It's just like we help veterans. That's why I was trying to make it so that I can have it, so that I can have a chat. If I can find somewhere to incorporate all the chat, so I can show you TikTok, YouTube. The thing is with like YouTube, since I do it on phone and on PC, those two chats don't intermix. So basically, if somebody asks a question, I usually just like get to it and try to ask it, and I'll repeat the question and say what they say so that people can understand it and see it. Doesn't always work well like that, but it's better than nothing. But this is basically for the tax exemptions and stuff like that. Delaware is trash. I'm saying that now. I don't care if you're from Delaware, whoever you are. Delaware is trash. You got no tax exemptions. But like I said, it's just, you do that, searching for VSOs, check on it here. Let me update this as we go. But this is basically what I do. I update, mostly I'm updating these screens as I go. I update the spreadsheet so that basically it's for veterans to have that information. And once I get it a bit more like populated, I'll push it out so that people can use it. And if they got any questions or anything, they can go about it that way. That was Nebraska, so there's Nevada. Get to the point, streamer boy. Chop, chop. I'm gonna take a wild guess and say they're not a veteran. Because if they were a veteran, they'd probably be asking questions to benefit them instead of just telling me to chop, chop. But, you know, somebody got no time on their hands. It was just like, ain't you somebody's kid? Go say Happy Father's Day or something, bro. Like, what you bothering me for? They said agree. All the homies hate Delaware. Like, it doesn't have any benefit. Like, Delaware is one of those states that does not have a lot of benefits for veterans, and that's the issue. Wow, let's check out Troposphere real quick. With his 49 followers and no bio, the real MVP of the stream, asking questions that he knows the answers to. But yeah, that's what it is. This is Nevada State Service Office County. Troposphere, I could tell you're very intelligent. Very. I could see it by the name and how you type. Super intellectual. No. Just Cruise number one fan. You're the real MVP. This guy is just like the impersonator. He's just an impersonator. He's trying to be cool, but he's not. So, you know, it's hard sometimes. You gotta show them that you appreciate them also, because the thing is you know, sometimes these people need a hug. They don't get enough hugs. They miss out on a lot of stuff. They have the missing out syndrome kind of thing. So it's just like, since they want to be a part of something, they got to try to find a way to make attention. But you gotta appreciate them. I appreciate you though. You always in my streams. This guy, never seen him before, but sometimes you gotta show him love just to, show him some love. That's it. He said a challenge. But it is what it is. That's what it is. It's just like, it's difficult to do this because the thing is through here is not as simple to reach veterans. Like I said, there's no classification for veterans or in any categories. Like basically, I fall under education here. I fall on education under education on YouTube also. So basically, I fall under education for both. But the thing is there's no education for veterans. There's no benefits education category. So it's kind of hard to get pushed out to the right people, because the thing is there's not a select thing to do it. And that's why I was just trying to reach people in different ways. And it's just like, you do what you can to try to reach people, but not everybody gets the same information. And shit, look, just now before you tuned in, like I was just helping somebody that had a couple of questions, and they have questions. I give them an answer, and I find them the answer that'll benefit them and that'll help them with their disability or any questions that they have. Had somebody asking if they could live overseas and still receive the disability payments. And I was just like, yeah, you can receive your disability payments while overseas, and you probably live better off of it because now the exchange rate is different. So your dollar is worth a lot more on the other end. You're a veteran yourself, served 2 tours in Nuketown, have PTSD. That game will do that to you. And I'm not saying you don't have PTSD, but that game will do it to you. But I hope you're getting help. I hope it is Men's Mental Health Month, so make sure you're getting assistance. Crisis line is 988. For veterans, you press 1. And you do that. Get assistance if you need assistance. It's never a bad thing to get assistance. I get assistance. I go to counseling. I see a therapist. I tell everybody to do that. Don't be concerned with what people. I was like, hey, if that's the case, you need to talk to somebody about it. If you've seen things that you aren't proud of or things that you probably shouldn't have seen, make sure to talk to somebody about that, because those things linger and they stay with you forever. So make sure you do that. Make sure you take care of yourself. You said I'm the only counselor. I wouldn't consider myself the best counselor. I'm just the person that has gone through a bunch of experiences. I've dealt with people of all over, all races, all backgrounds, and it's just like you learn things, and you learn to appreciate people, and you learn to get information from people, and you observe people so that way you can help them and benefit them and assist them in the best way you can. Now, not everybody is able to be assisted. I am not a professional counselor. I just basically tell people off of my experiences to help them. The same way with the veteran stuff. People got questions, I answer them. I'm 100% permanent and total. So I have more ability to say like, hey, this is what you can do and this is what you need to do, as compared to somebody that has not reached 100% permanent and total disability and they want to give advice. And like I was speaking with somebody earlier, giving people advice and not knowing where to go is crazy. You're actually a counselor. I am trying to become one. I'm trying to get accredited as a VA counselor. It's a process, but that's something I am also working on. But I have to put that on the back burner so I can finish my master's degree. Once I finish the master's degree, we'll get into that and try to work on that. Because it adds more credibility, because then the fact is just like, yes, I actually do this as my job kind of thing. With this, I just usually just provide people information as they ask it, and I just give them information. So if they're looking for stuff, they do that. Like with this is what I do. Like I go on their site, and then I just try to find where they're VSOs and sites. And that's what I've just been doing and updating it so people will get that information. Then I just copy the link, copy it, go back here, go to New Hampshire. And this is what I'm mostly doing. Like, this is what I'm trying to do. Like, while I'm doing these streams, is basically talk to people. When they have questions, people come in and they ask questions. I answer them, and then otherwise I'm going back and just trying to update this spreadsheet as we go. Some of these streams go for longer depending on what the topic is, because some people, the topics are more beneficial to them. Most people don't really care to see where they have a VSO because they just go to a certain agency. But like I said, this is just something that over time, a lot of this information will be handy to people. Like I said, I just need to make more videos that basically highlight the things I do and the information I provide, so that more people get more access to it and more people see it. With TikTok, that's a thing that I'm working on to try to get. But YouTube is the same thing. Most of my information comes on lives. So since I do it on lives, people don't really tune into the lives like that. So I need to start most likely looking at these videos over again, finding the snippets that I can use, repurposing them and sending them out again, so that people just like, oh, okay, he talked about this, he showed where to go here and stuff like that, and it benefits people like that. I'm not sure, why is this page not showing? And that's mostly it. But for most people today, I know it's Father's Day, so I know a lot of people aren't going to be tuning in. So that's why I've always thought, like, maybe I should change the day of when I do this, because, you know, a lot of people are at church or they got stuff, and then when football season starts, people are going to be watching football and stuff like that. So I might try to change the timing and stuff like that, but I think I just want to keep it like this, because this allows me to do these streams. I can do these streams, and then I have the rest of my Sunday because I still got homework and stuff to do. So it gives me my time, and then I can still spend time with my family also. But we'll look into changing of the schedule. But I think this does it. I tend to do a bunch of like pop-up streams here and there. I would do them on YouTube a lot. But I think I need to figure something else so that way I can do both. Do it on YouTube and do it on TikTok at the same time, whether it's through the phone or on my computer. But I like doing it on my computer more because of the fact that you can see the stuff. So some Chinese girl tried to recruit me to some agency I do not trust. I've been getting a lot of that. Apex SWAT wipes. No. I've been getting a lot of those messages on TikTok. It's been agencies, just like, hey, I really like your lives. Can you don't do that? It's scams. Most of those are scams. If it's something like that, they would probably have like a bunch of people on there. They appreciate you liking the live. They would have a legit brand, or they would have a following or something like that. Most of the time, if it's gonna be something like that, I believe TikTok has it that they can reach out to you, if you choose to. But most of the time, if you're looking for something like that, go to the stuff that's within TikTok to find like the branded stuff and stuff like that, because then that allows you to actually see what it is, and it's actually something legit from TikTok, because they have a bunch of stuff like creator join their fund, and it's just like because once you do the creator marketplace, you can join like campaigns. So basically, like the same way you can sell, it's like basically like the TikTok shop, but you get paid from that brand to. It's not even like a sponsor. It's like a paid sponsorship where it's like, hey, this is the new phone case I have, and this is what it does. I can take it apart, I can clean it, my phone fits into it perfectly, stuff like that nonsense. And then depending on the video, you might get paid for that video, but then depending if it gets multiple views, you get more. He said instructions unclear. I married her and started life. Hey bro, enjoy. That's all I'll say to that. Enjoy. Oh, man said instantly too. He just moved. My man got that flight connection. My man teleported to China instantly and said, I am now here. Life has changed for me, Cruz. Just wanted to let you know, wanted to update you. Life is different now. Office contacts. But yeah, it is what it is. You do that. It's your life. It's your life. Choose wisely. That's all I'll say. Choose wisely. I'm not sure why is this page not populating? Why do I have Google Chrome as a thing? But it's not even up. But I have it on here. There we go. I had the window capture for some reason. Interesting. Because it's showing up as one thing on one thing and then another on another. That's still crazy. Hey, when do the new sleep apnea changes go into effect? Tyler Autry. That's the question he had. Sleep apnea effects. I haven't seen any documentation on that. And we'll look it up. Because a lot of people have been saying that, and it's just like it's skepticism. It's just like people keep talking about it and stuff like that. But until the shit doesn't change, until the shit does not change in the VA Code of Federal Regulations, people need to stop spreading out this information because it agitates veterans more than it actually helps them. Now, well, let's go to schedule ratings. And that's the thing. There's a display Title 38 up to date after then. The last was amended 6/12. View historical versions. I don't want to look the. Let's see, sleep apnea. Oh, if I could spell it right, we might get somewhere. I hate looking at the. It should be here. Nope. You know what? Let's go back to just the regular ratings thing and go through here. But yeah, there's proposed changes that have been saying for a lot of the stuff is just like, look, people. Yes, that is a bad idea. Because it falls under respiratory. That's musculoskeletal. Torso and neck. Organs of special sense. Diseases of the eye. Impairment. Hold on. Let's do it this way. Table of contents. Respiratory. Auditory, infectious respiratory system. So sinusitis, viruses, trachea, bronchitis, asthma, emphysema, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. Because the thing is I haven't seen anything, and like, look, people go off of it. Like the same thing with the GERD. The digestive system changes started on May 19th. Nobody had been mentioning any of that because the thing is a lot of it is under speculation until they don't give a specific date. If you don't hear, if everybody keeps talking about it, and that's the thing, everybody keeps talking about sleep apnea changes. This is when it's going to happen. It's in the works. It's in the works. everything is in the works for some time, but it still has to be approved by Congress. So it's like people keep on talking about these changes until you don't hear a specific date where it says, hey, the code of federal regulations will make this effective on this day. If you have to file a claim, Tyler, if you're filing a claim on sleep apnea, go ahead and do it now. Don't wait. And that's the issue. If you have a sleep study or you haven't gotten a sleep study, go get a sleep study to get that fixed. Why is it not? It does fall on the schedule readiness for. So that's something that you got to keep in mind. Pulmonary tuberculosis, no. Sleep apnea syndromes, obstructive thing. Refer entitlement to special compensation. No, it doesn't say when. And that's the thing. Off of here, it doesn't say when. A lot of people are making statements about it. I know there's a couple of pages that tend to do that also. Expand healthcare 2024, expands access to care, announces equity action plan, expanding healthcare. VA sleep apnea changes 2024. See, so this one came out April 18th. VA proposed updates to rating schedule for respiratory. That was 15. So like it says, proposes. And that's what a lot of people go off of. They keep on hearing the proposes. This on the VA News itself, and this was in February 2022. So people have been talking about this for the past 2 years about changes upcoming and happening, and nothing has actually happened. And the thing is if you already have sleep apnea, you would already keep it. It's not going to change, and that's what I have an intent to follow right now, and I'll try to get a sleep study. Yeah, Tyler, the best thing you could do right now is get a sleep study done. Get your information done. Get it. You already have the intent to file, which is great. So that'll backtrack to whenever you filed it. You have a year within that time frame to do that. You need to get the sleep study. You need to get a nexus letter. You need the nexus letter connecting that you have it in time. If you can have a buddy statement or a witness statement, which I've helped one of my close friends with that I served with, it was like, hey, if you were out in the field or you were out in any location and you are able to have your buddy write a statement saying like, yeah, there was multiple times when we were out in the field, or he was my bunk mate, or whatever the case may be, and this dude was always choking in his sleep, and it was just like we had to wake him up a couple of times because of the fact that he would wake up and it sounded like he wasn't breathing. You got to make sure you have the documentation. Just because you get the sleep study does not automatically mean that it's going to get service connected. You have to make sure that you're putting that information there. But that's why I said it was just like, the faster you file, and that's the thing, a lot of people are waiting. If you wait for the changes to happen, they might benefit you, they might not. Yes, and so I have it on both YouTubes. I was like, can someone lie about that? There are a lot of veterans that try to take advantage of the system and they lie about their disabilities. When it comes to a sleep study, there's a low chance of you being able to. You can't lie about it because you literally have to go to a facility. They hook you up with a breathing mask. They put sensors all over your body and stuff like that, and you have to sleep in that place overnight. You will go to sleep. Once you go to sleep, they will either, sometimes they record you, because with mine they recorded and had video which showed that I had restless leg syndrome, where my legs would kick every now and then they have it and they record it, so they show you and they see how you're breathing, how you stop breathing, how many times per hour you stop breathing, and that determines how bad your sleep apnea is. Depending on how bad it is, you'll get a rating. But that rating also coincides with, hey, do you need a CPAP machine? Do you not need a CPAP machine? For some, there are other stuff that is being created and used for the CPAP machine in order to allow people to actually use it. Or other methods and other pieces of equipment that are helping with your sleep apnea. But that's where, if you believe you have sleep apnea, you need to file for it now and get your documentation, get your sleep study and stuff like that. Because look, like I said, this is from the VA. And this was VA proposes updates since 2022. So it's been talked about, and it keeps on being talked about. See, look, this is a VA extends presumptions of service connected for 3 new cancer types. And this was updated in February. So that's why I said, like, a lot of veterans, that's the thing that causes problems, is like a lot of veterans get that word of mouth. And that's what I hate some of these damn fucking YouTube channels, because there's a lot of YouTube channels that tend to fucking do this because they want to get clicks. They want people to fucking ask the questions, and then you worry people. And the thing is that worry is what causes those vets to go back to that page. It's not because they want the information. It's just like, hey, we'll keep you updated on when this changes. So what state has the best benefits? So far, Texas and Florida have the best benefits when you put all of it together. Texas and Florida seem to be two of the two because of the no state property tax, no retirement tax exemption, no state tax, no state income tax, or state tax and stuff like that. Like a bunch of them differ, but you can do it. But that's why I say a lot of the issues is that a lot of these channels that I see, these other channels, there's a couple of other channels that have grown in size, but what they do is that they like fearmonger veterans so that people can just like keep on coming back to them. It's just like, oh, so-and-so updated me on the fact that this might change. And then it's just like, they've been talking about this for a couple of years that it might change. You keep on using the same stuff because now you worry veterans like, oh shit, I need to get this done and fix it. And then the problem is just that people end up filing a claim and they file it incorrectly. Because the person said, oh, this might change. It's like, you need to file right now. It was like, no, you need to make sure you're filing it the correct way. Because if you're not filing it the correct way, you could do that shit now, you could do it then. That shit is still going to be fucking denied because of the fact that you're not getting the right information. You're just getting the information saying like, hey, you need to do this now because things might change. So you could join the military and move to Texas. You could join and move to any state really, but Texas is, as a veteran, has a lot of benefits. But that's what I'm saying. Like for the best ones, if you do the whole 20 years and do that, it works better for Texas and Florida. But there's other states that have other benefits. Like some of them is just like family members get free school tuition or something like that. And so I think it's New Jersey that does that. That you get education benefits for your spouse, depending on if you're a veteran or if you're like certain ones have different stuff. So that's why it's like, that's why I'm working on that spreadsheet to build it. But because this is where I want people to find the information and get it the correct way. The problem is like I said, look, you had a person like, you can't see it on your chat. He's on the other one because he's viewing it from, I believe, he's viewing it from the PC version instead of the mobile version. But just basically saying like, hey, when do these take into effect? A lot of stuff gets taken into effect and a lot of stuff gets put out there and it's not correct information. And that's what pisses me off the most when it comes to doing these workshops. Cause it's like, I go and I look at these other channels videos cause I want to see just like what they're talking about and stuff like that. But then I go and I research the stuff that they're talking about. And some of these people is just like full of bullshit. It's just like, hey, I do like this is what's going on with this information. And the thing is people will say that, and it's just not. Hey, shoes are my sunshine. Appreciate you liking the live. And people don't understand that. People don't understand that a lot of the information available is available to you. You just got to look for it. You have to search for it. You can't just go off of what other people are saying. And then people will be like, well, why should I go off of what you're saying? I'm going off of what the VA actually states. I go off of my information. I go to where the resource is directly from the VA. I don't give you information of just like, oh, I just thought this, or it's just like, oh, these changes might happen. I was just like, no. You're putting that information out there, and all it does is hinder veterans, because the thing is you don't really tell them what the process is of what they want or need to do. You basically tell them like, hey, this might change. It would benefit you to file now before things change. But these changes they've been talking about for 2 years already. As we can see, like, this is a 2-year-old article about them proposing changes. So it's just like, if you're going to say that, that's for 2 years that you've been telling people, oh, make sure to file it, make sure to file it. And then people get the wrong information and get the wrong fucking, they file it incorrectly because they just rush through the process instead of doing it, taking the time and doing it correctly. Now you basically just put that veteran in a hole, maybe, because, hey, if that veteran had to pay to get that sleep study done from an outside source because they wouldn't cover it, you just wasted their money on there because it denied. Now they have to wait on the appeal process, which means they have to appeal that being denied. But the thing is you can appeal it if you don't provide information showing that it's service connected, because that's the biggest thing that veterans don't understand when it comes to disability ratings. You have to show the service connection, whether that's medical records, whether that's buddy statements or witness statements or lay statements or even your own statements, imagery, a nexus letter, all that stuff you have to have in order to have a correct documented disability claim. If you are not doing that, it don't matter what the hell you do. I can go get an x-ray and show that my back is entirely jacked up. But if I don't have anything in my system, in my records showing that while I was in the service that I had any back injuries and stuff like that, it don't matter. Because the VA looks at it as just like, well, it looks like you fucked up your back after the fact. Or, hey, you developed sleep apnea after the fact. You developed sleep apnea after you got out of the military. You didn't develop it while in the military, because there's no record of you having any issues or ailments while you're in service. Now, out of service, you got a sleep study, and it's just like, yes, you have sleep apnea. That don't mean nothing to the VA, because it's like what I tell people. It's just like, look, you can go and say you have all these issues. You could have gone on a fucking ski trip and fucked up your whole body and then healed yourself up and then came back because you have messed up disc and all that and be like, look, man, the military did this shit. There's no way to connect that. The VA isn't going to know it went through a skiing trip, but you're trying to claim it was the military that did it. But if you can't tie those two together, you don't go nowhere, and that's what people don't understand. It's just like people need to make sure they're looking up in the information, because I'm looking for it right now, just trying to see if I can find any actual update. But it doesn't, because it gets said there. And then look, this right here, the CFR is what you need to do. Yes, if you develop Sophie, what's up? If you develop like, let's say you have an injury before you join the military, most of the time that is already documented. So you can make a claim and make a payment or get compensation for it getting worse. So that is something. You can do that. If you had it beforehand, but while in service, it got worse, you can claim that and be like, hey, the military was the reason that I had this before the military. I was able to function with no issue, but then once I had left the military, it got worse. Or while I was in the military, it got worse, which sometimes that could be like knee injuries or any kind of injuries that you had previously, and they got worse because it's like, hey, if it was a knee injury that you had prior, but running all the time, rucking, doing all the stuff in the military made it get worse, you can file for that. Now, they're not too aware of how you go about the process of doing that, because most of the time, everything that most people claim is stuff that happens while in service. Prior to service, you have to have that in your medical records. And then while in service, you have to show that you were getting seen or taken care of as the issue continued and it got worse. And that's how you make a claim for that. So you can do that if it's like that. But the thing is most of the time, what's going to happen with that is just like when you're getting into the service, they are making a note of that. So if you had like a shoulder pop out or whatever the case may be, and you've had shoulder issues, they're going to be like, well, okay, you were in the military, you had this pop out, your shoulder popped out or whatever before you joined. Now you have issues, and it's just like, do people ever internally injure themselves for benefits? And if so, what's the furthest someone has gone? That I wouldn't be able to tell you a specific as to if people injure. I don't think anybody injures themselves on purpose. I don't think anybody does that. But there are people that lie about their injuries to make them seem a lot worse than they are. There was a big known case of a military veteran that liked to, no, they don't intentionally hurt themselves. Because I didn't intentionally hurt myself, but I got fucking degenerative disc disease. I got bad shoulders. I got a bad hip. I have a tear in my hip, which I still have. I never got it fixed. I severely sprained my ankle. My ankle hasn't been the same. I have lower back issues. I have upper back issues, shoulder. I deal with migraines a lot more. Mental health issues, my anxiety, depression, PTSD through the fucking roof at times. Y'all see me here because it's easy for me to talk and chat with y'all, and it's easy for me to do these. But if I'm sitting down like this, it's probably because I've been medicated, and I medicated myself to prepare myself for a long time period, which I've done over a couple of these streams where it's just like I stand once my back starts acting up, and I stand up, then I sit back down, or I'm just like, hey, look, y'all can see I start fidgeting a lot more while I'm standing. So it's just like, not everything is a visual thing that people can see. And the thing is, it's just like, I wouldn't say people intentionally injure themselves. People get injured while in the military, and it's without wanting to sometimes. When you sprain your ankle, or you did some heavy, like try to do some lifting, kind of like tweaked your back and stuff like that. That's stuff that happens that people do. But in that case of that veteran that claimed, like how you asked earlier, like, do people fake it? This dude faked the funk like to the highest percent available so that he can get the highest rating. So what the man did was he went to his he faked it, and he went to his like CMP, his compensation and pension examinations, which is where they evaluate you and see what your ratings are and see what it is. This dude, I don't even know what that is, but appreciate y'all liking the live. But he went into his examinations. Officer Jackson, thank you for following the live. He went into examinations basically with a cane. My man was walking with a cane, came in there limping, doing all that stuff, and faked it that he couldn't take care of himself. He let his beard grow out, and like he didn't shave. I don't think he even showered for it or anything like that. So his PTSD claim and his depression claim was like skyrocketed because of the fact that he had this appearance. He couldn't walk and stuff like that. Mind you, they go ahead and find this dude. Like, I don't know if somebody was just like, somebody snitched on him, which is usually what tends to happen, because somebody just sees them and just like, yeah, this dude was claiming that he was injured and all that stuff, but they got videos that this dude, like, was supposedly a bad back and needing a cane. This dude is deadlifting like heavyweight. He's in the gym every day. Never seen him with a cane again. Never seen him with any issues and stuff like that. And then they found him, and I think he's in jail right now because he made over like because if you think about it, if you are at 100% permanent and total, which we can go to the, no, let's go to the VA. Let's go to the disability calculator, because they have one here. Most people don't do that. Most people don't know that the VA actually does have a disability calculator on here. If I can find it, but this is just information. Where is a that's why I hate this damn site, because it's like everything is finding it is like so difficult to find. Excuse me. Your disability. Where's the compensation? Disability compensation rates. So if you look at it like this is veteran disability compensation rates. If you are, we're gonna look at it 100%. That's with dependents, and then there's without dependents. So with a dependent spouse or parent but no children, if it's the veteran only, it also says that. So this is 100%. So if it's a veteran alone, that veteran is making $3,700, $37.85 per month, tax free. So now let's pull up the calculator. Here's a calculator. So 37.85 times 12. You are making basically $45,000 a year tax free. That's just starting. Making $45,000 a year tax free. Now you multiply that by, let's say he was doing it for 8 years. That man basically made $360,000 tax free, lying about his conditions. And that's for 8 years. That's if you're doing it by 8 years. Now, that's a lot of money. Over 8 years, doesn't seem like a lot, but it's a lot. If it's tax free, you don't have to worry about it, and you're gonna know, and you know you're continuously getting it. That counts as a lot, and that's what a lot of people. Some people do that. Some people do exaggerate on their examinations, and it's a sad thing, but it's just like some people are just trying to get to that 100% so that they can get that pay. But the issue is that a lot of people do lie about it, and they exaggerate their issues. In some cases, it's easier for them to exaggerate because you can't really measure the stuff. But in other cases, like you have veterans that have these issues, but you can't really tell the difference. Why? Because of the fact that it's just like they have the documentation for it. Like me, I have all the documentation for it. I have all the x-rays. I have all the MRIs. I have my mental health counselings and my documentation with that. I have all that stuff actually documented, and it shows like, all right, this dude does have these issues. This dude has back issues. The MRIs and the x-rays show that he has shoulder issues. Both show that he has lower back issues, hip issues, knee issues. Like all that stuff is documented, so it shows and it allows the VA rater to see like, hey, okay, he's dealing with this. This is what he has. This is what's going on. This is the information that he's trying to get to people, but show people like, hey, you need this documented. You need this information there so that people understand like, hey, you just don't get these ratings just out of thin air. And that's what I think a lot of veterans think they do. A lot of veterans think they're just like, man, my body's all fucked up. I deal with all this stuff. And it's just like, man, these people are fighting me to get the percentage. It was like, no. It's not, it's sometimes that it is a fight, but the thing is like you also fighting yourself because you didn't have anything documented. You didn't have stuff proving that you had these issues. So it's like, yes, you can say you had a bad back, but if you were in service and you never went to the doctor for it, you never got medication, you never got put on a medical profile for it and stuff like that, it's easy for the VA to just be like, we don't see no injury. But the person could be in fucking complete pain the whole time. So, but what did they do? They just file and just think it's just like, oh, because I filed this, it automatically, oh, I should be compensated because my back is fucked up. No, you got to show that your back is fucked up. The VA rater goes off of the documentation they get, the paperwork they see and stuff like that. And that's how they evaluate you and that's how they give you your rating. It's not a thing. But then some people tend to over exaggerate when they get there. There's people that'll go in there limping, have back issues, and then be like, oh, I can't move. And it's just like, that's questionable. I was like, for me, I have times where I can and I can't move. I have muscle relaxers and I have pain relievers, and it happens. You deal with that a lot. You run into those issues, and those issues are kind of difficult because it's just like, okay, I have the documentation showing that it's there. And then this is the thing that most people don't use. Code of Federal Regulations, Title 38, Chapter 1, Part 4. And that basically gives you the breakdown of the information you need. This will tell you exactly, it gives you a breakdown of everything that you need. That is, Chapter 1 is just basically pensions, bonuses, and veterans relief. Department of Veteran Affairs is the whole chapter. So all these are information and guidelines as to what questions you may have and stuff you need to find out for is through there. So that's what it is, and a lot of people don't understand that. It's just like your information is here. If you to find out what you can get rated for, it's in the schedule for ratings. You go here, it'll give you a breakdown of everything that you can file for, which there's over 3,000 different claims you can file for. You don't fall under all of them, but the thing is if you file them correctly and file the disability under the right code, the diagnostic code that shows up, that allows people to see that. And it's just like the VA reader knows, is like, okay, he's claiming degenerative disc disease. There's a claim for that. So you would have to put that as there as degenerative disc disease. Because a lot of the issues that people do is that they file and they just put back pain. They don't put if it's upper back pain. They don't put if it's lower back pain. They just say it's back pain. And then when you file that and just put back pain, the rater just looks at it as just like, oh, he's saying his back hurts. He's not saying if it's a higher or above, but then it's looking at the documentation. Is what does the documentation say? Does it show that his back, does he have back issues? Is it upper back issues, lower back issues? Does he have an x-ray showing that his lower back is jacked up? Or does it show his upper back is fucked up? If it doesn't show any of them, it's just like, it's hard for them to be like, you know what? Correct. You do have a disability and we need to help you file for it. We need to get this checked, or you can go. Because it's like you can sign up to do physical therapy. You can sign up to do mental health stuff. It's just like you can do all that stuff and it's available for you. It's just you need to know what you're asking for. You need to know what you're looking for. Like all these issues. Oh, I'll show you. All these issues here. Code of Federal Regulations, Title 38, Chapter 1, Part 4, Schedule for Rating Schedule. This is the most influential stuff that is basically, you can call it a fucking cheat code, basically. It's a cheat code for it. But some people use it to cheat. Some people actually use it because it's the issues that they have. But this is the information that people need to resort to and look into, because this is what provides them that information. This is what shows you is like, hey, gives you a breakdown, age and service connected claims, application, rating officers, correspondence, combined ratings table, which this is what shows you how to get your actual percentage rating when you're dealing with the disability claim, which a lot of people don't understand, that a lot of people don't realize that this is how you get your percentage, and this is the information you get, and you need to know what you need to get to the next level. To get to 100%, you need to reach 95. That's why it cuts off here, because once you hit 95, you are in the 100%. Then it's the issue of your disabilities being static or not, which static meaning that the VA understands like, hey, this is an injury or a claim that is not going to get better over time. Like my back, it is static. I keep losing fucking cartilage in between my discs. I have a thing that my arm goes numb at times from that. Those are things that are there and are highlighted, are documented, and I've got medication and treatment for, which shows the issues I have. But I did a lot of that while I was in the military. I didn't wait till after I got out the military. And then the thing is a lot of people, the issues they have is just like, hey, you've been out of the military for 5+ years. After you've been out of the military for 1+ year, it's difficult, and you need to have extra you have to make sure you're making and having extra documentation in order to proceed. Whereas if you do it within that year mark, basically the military understands it's like, oh, you're within a year of being out, we'll use your medical records for that. Anything after a year, there's people that have been trying to file disability claims for after like 10 years, 15 years of being in the military. And it's just like, you know what? Should have done this earlier. It happens. Some people don't want to do it. Some people are hesitant. But it's just like, if you don't have the documentation, if you don't have stuff backing what you did or proving that it happened in the military and then it got worse or it started because of the military, you're going to be shit out of luck. And that's what people don't understand. And then you have people that are just like putting out misinformation. And that hurts a lot of veterans too, because it's just like they don't get the right information. They don't get the stuff they need to know about. And it's just like, hey, I heard this. Okay. And a lot of people just be like, I heard this, and they go off of it, and then nothing comes of it because they heard something that was incorrect. Shit, that's like going to a gas station, but like, man, I heard y'all were giving out a free tank of gas. And everybody's gonna get excited. It's like, damn, this place is. I heard they were doing a free tank of gas. But then when you get there, it's like, yeah, you get a free tank of gas if you spend over $50 on this specific item that nobody fucking needs. And that's how basically working with the VA is when it comes to veterans and trying to inform other people. It's just like you giving them partly correct information or sometimes completely wrong information, but it's just like, yeah, you can get a free tank of gas, but you have to pay or buy $50 worth of this stuff that you don't need. That's how you get a free tank of gas. With the military and the veterans, it's just like, hey, you can get this rating by doing this, but they don't explain it. It's like, yeah, you need the documentation, you need imagery or whatever the case, you need a Nexus letter, buddy. Like all that stuff doesn't get put into consideration, and that's what ends up hurting a lot of veterans. So it's just like providing these chats and doing these videos is what I do just to be able to enable and assist veterans in being able to be better prepared, I guess is the way. I just need to start making actual videos and incorporating it into videos. But having people ask questions is the best way of doing it, but it's hard because of the fact that a lot of people don't know what they're looking for, don't know where it is, or they just keep hearing the same shit from other people, and other people just keep on giving information that is incorrect. Like, if shit changes, see, look, it'll say, and that's a good thing about this, it'll say what the changes are. There have been changes in the last 2 weeks of Chapter 1. View changes. And it'll tell you what these changes are, which is the Veteran and Spouse Transitional Assistance Grant Program, which it'll break it down and it'll tell you, hold on, let me show y'all because I ain't showing y'all yet. I was like, let me do that again. So displaying Title 38 up to date as of 6/13. So as of Friday, basically, it was updated. And it was last changed on the 12th. There have been changes. What are those changes that it tells you? So you can go click on it. You go to view changes, and this is what it breaks down. National Cemeteries of Department of Veteran Affairs, the definitions of commemorative urns and plaques, that made a change on the 11th. Pensions, bonuses, and veterans relief. Part 80, Veteran and Spouse Transitional Assistance Grant Program. So they got grant programs that most people don't know exist because people don't look into it, don't have any idea about it. That's what got updated. Look, 17 sections changed, 2 sections changed. So this got all updated, and that way you can see what it is that got changed. So modified date, if I go back to, let's say, May 1st. This is all the changes that have happened, basically going back to May 1st. Shit, this actually gives you a breakdown of everything that has changed. And you can do it this way, and you can get updated as to what changes. Changes who's medical, adjudication, Department of National Cemeteries and thing. So that changed again. Department of Loan Guarantee, which goes probably to like the VA loan stuff and adding it to that. Equal treatment for faith-based organizations. Pensions bonuses, schedule for rating disabilities. The digestive system, which I said that was this got put here, but it went into effect May 19th. So basically this is when the change was made, but all this did not change until May 19th. And then May 19th, it was effective. It was just basically updated on March 20th because it's like, hey, this is what's going to be here. This is what it is. And then they would show you the old version of it so that you saw that. This is the old version. This is what it's changing to. This is so you're aware, and this is when it's going to be effective. Same thing, it happens and it continues doing that, and it just highlights all this stuff. So you can get an updated version of what it is, and you can find out when changes are happening through the Code of Federal Regulations and doing it this way. It doesn't give you a proposed date, but most of the time for some of this stuff, it does give you a proposed date, because it's just like, hey, this is happening here, but it'll tell you when it is it got changed. Let's see, look. Compared to see if we're in effect on 426.24 that was previously in effect on, see. So you can go and it tells you, view the current version. This is the one that's up to date. And it'll show you. Same section, and it'll tell you exactly what it is, and it gives you that information. So that's why I say don't go off of what a lot of people say, or what they thought happened, or what's going to happen. Like, if it's going to be a change and it's going to be in effect, it'll be stated on the website. If it's something that's being proposed by Congress, there's a lot of shit that gets proposed by the House of Representatives and the Senate and stuff like that. And a lot of it gets spoken about, and it's just like, oh, okay, hey, let's ban TikTok. Wasn't that the big thing going on for a while? TikTok's still up and running. TikTok has gotten stronger since then. So that's something that people don't realize. If it's like a proposed thing, it's just like, yeah, they try to slide stuff into certain bills and stuff like that, but it still needs to be signed into law or become a policy, which most of the time it doesn't, because it's just like, it's one side of the Congress. It might be the House of Representatives or the Senate goes and approves something, but then it needs to be signed off by the Senate, and they need to approve it. And then they want to add what they want to add to it to then put it together. Then they make it one joint bill. Then that gets approved, and then that might get signed. Most of the time that doesn't happen. With the amount of stuff that goes back and forth with them, it's a big change, and a lot of things change. So that's why it's like, people need to understand, proposed anything is not mean it's gonna happen. Chances are it probably won't happen, but it's that's what it is. That's what people need to understand. It's just like, you can find a bunch of information on here, but it's like finding it, you probably won't, because it's just like, it changes. All these information changes. Is like, unless you get it from the source itself, don't go off of what other people are telling you. Shit, you can listen to me. Why? Because I'm telling you why it's happening, where it's happening, directly from where it's being said it's happening. It's not word of mouth. It's not me trying to fear people into like, hey man, you should go ahead and do this now, because you might not be able to do it later. No, it doesn't work that way. It's just like, people have been talking about changes for the longest time. It's just like the mental health issue and the sleep apnea they've been talking about those changing for years. And we got the digestive system update way before then. Nobody was talking about the digestive system being changed, or when it got proposed, or how GERD is different. Irritable bowel syndrome got changed. None of that stuff was being spoken about, but then it came into effect and it got mentioned very smallly. I made a video on that and updated people to say like, hey, this change is coming. You should pay attention to it. But that doesn't always happen. So that's something that people need to realize. But it is what it is. It is what it is, yo. But we are at what, the two hour mark? We'll probably just cut this one off here and go about it from there. Like I said, this every Sunday. This is what we do every Sunday, just to try to benefit people, just to try to give them information so that they're aware. You have the YouTube channels. I'm also on TikTok. I'm just trying to broaden everything so that people can see it from different avenues, get the information they need. But it's always good to research your own stuff. Should even research the stuff I do. You can look into the regulation and the stuff directly from what I'm showing you, so that way you have that and you understand. It's like, okay, he's doing this. This is where it's going. This is where they're getting the information from. This is why they're being able to be successful. That's why I've been successful at what I've done. So that's something that y'all need to keep in mind. But besides that, y'all, I ain't got much else to say. But yeah, I appreciate everybody that tuned in, everybody that was here today. Thank you for stopping by. If you were on TikTok and came over to YouTube, if you were on YouTube, went over to TikTok, appreciate appreciate you for that. Like I said, I just want to say thank you to everybody. Thank you for assisting, being part of the stream. And we do this every Sunday. We'll keep on doing this again. We'll do it next Sunday. And we'll keep on pushing the information. Otherwise, my lives will probably be on TikTok. I'll probably do another one on YouTube at some point, because next week I'll be gone from my house for the next 2 weeks, I think. So we'll try to do lives as best we can that way. That's the best thing I can do for y'all. But like I said, if y'all have any veterans, know any veterans that have questions, want information, want to be helped with stuff, send them my way. I appreciate it. Thank you. Like I always say, be good to one another, take care of one another, love one another, and stay marvelous. Just Cruz, signing out.